So, Joe, you were instrumental in setting up the Mayo Community TV. How long ago?
1979.
1979. How did that come about?
Came about because when I came back from England, we only had RT1, a very bad RT2, and we heard of the group in Bal that was picking up the signal from Enniskillen. So I went to see Pádraig Canaan and we set up committees, and so we simply used the system of picking up the signal at Larrigan in Bal, and then we transmitted on to the top of Fornacht here in Westport, and then we continued on out to Louisburg, down to Achill. We went. We had 8 transmitters at one stage going down into Connemara.
So you had a receiver and transmitter, was that it?
A receiver and transmitter, yeah.
And what stations were you picking up?
We're picking up BBC 1, 2, TV3 and Channel. BBC 1, BBC 2, ITV and Channel 4.
And that was a big technological project, wasn't it, really, at the time?
Well, it was, but like these projects are quite simple if you have the right people involved, and we were very lucky to have a top-class technician that knew the business back to front, and we could cut corners, and then we just set up transmitters on top of mountains or hills that were commonage, so we never asked anybody for permission to put up any mast or anything like that. There was no formalities like that. So we simply got the local people together, and we went up and found a hot spot for the transmitter, and erected. We got the power from the nearest house down at the bottom of the hill, put in a meter in their turf shed possibly, and you know, it worked from there. We paid them for their bit of electricity, and then people were putting up aerials. I think they were 150 or 150 pounds at the time, and
for an aerial.
It was a gift. Yeah, you got the aerial for 150 pounds, and it was a gift to people that had no channel, and then they could see what was happening in the UK and all that sort of thing. And it was, you know, we kept going for 32 years, which was very, very good, and that was despite high court actions and everything else. And also,
who was taking the action?
Oh, it was Cable Link.
Cable Link.
And independent newspapers. Like, we weren't.
So it wasn't.
We're dealing with biggies.
But it wasn't the television. It wasn't the BBC. Did they take any action against you?
No. The BBC were quite happy. I think that we. Well, they had no problem with it, because why do they have the strongest transmitter in the north of Ireland in Enniskillen? You know, there was a reason for it. So we took advantage of that, and they never, you know, we never had any complaints, because as far as ITV was concerned, they were benefiting from the advertising in the extended area, and we weren't interfering with the BBC in any way. We were just pinching their signal. And
did they ever communicate with you?
No, never.
Not a word?
Not a word, no.
So they came from competition, was the Cable Link, were they competition? You were competition to them?
Yeah, Cable Link was, you see, there was a licence here for MMDS, and that was the microwave system that we were objecting to. We were advised that there was radiation from it, and so we stuck to our guns, and then when we got the TD elected up in Donegal, Tom Gilday, we had to give us a licence then, so we were reasonably stable. So Tom was a great asset to it, but like Pádraig Canaan and his crew over in Bal, they were absolutely brilliant, because they were the kingpins. If we didn't have Bal, we wouldn't have anything in Westport or anywhere else.
And was this a nationwide phenomenon, was it?
Well, it was,
in rural areas.
In the west of Ireland, yes, and it was down in Cork as well. Like any place where you had mountains, like in the Knockmeal Down Mountains, there was transmitters down there, in Waterford and Cork area and Carrigaline and all them areas, and then there was other places around the country as well, where in Banher as well there's another transmitter operating there, but you see, we had the people behind us, and there was no problem. Like, if anybody said anything about taking away the television, like, they were in trouble, you know. And like, we got a very serious TD out of office in Donegal, and got Tom in, and on the strength of the community television. But then, like, we were talking about, you know, community television and all that, and really we're only stargazing really. But when you see it today, you have Irish TV, which is hugely popular, you know, and Midwest are also doing their own channels as well. So
that's much easier now, isn't it?
It is, which is, but like
the network is there.
We're gone now because of the digital system, you see, and that's what killed it.
And how much did it cost a year for?
It was £30 a year we collected. To start off in 1979, we collected £30 a house, which is huge money in comparison to today's figures. But we got enough money together, and you know, we had good contacts for to get the equipment and all that, and we still got a massive transmitter up in Fornock there on the top of the tallest transmitter there. And
has it been used for anything now, is it?
Well, it's been used by one of the mobile phone companies.
Okay.
But the way we finished up on top of their mast was that they came in and came into me in the office and told me that they wanted us to take our transmitter away, that they had a lease on the site. And we thought we were in commonage, like when the top of every hill of the country was commonage.
Yeah.
But we were told that it belonged to a local landlord and that he had given them a lease. So anyhow, I said that...
were you not squatters at that stage?
It mightn't be that easy. So I said, we are actually squatters there. So, and I said, don't dream, I says, of trying to move us out of there. I said, because if you do, I says, the chances of you selling any mobile phones in this area would be very, very slack. But I said, we'll make a compromise with you. With a legal agreement, we'll allow you to build a transmitter there. You want to build it 90 feet, we want you to build it 110, and we want to put our transmitter on the top 15 feet. And I said, you'll sell it to us for £1. I says, and when we don't want it, we'll sell it back to you for £1. Right? And the agreement was signed. Like, the guy couldn't believe what he was hearing, but we sent it back to the office anyhow. But he came back with the agreement, the transmitter was built and it's still there today, and we worked very well with them from then on, because they had another transmitter down in Mayo, and we just rang them up and I said, I want to put a transmitter up on top of your equipment there. No problems at all, we'll actually give you the electricity. So it just shows you how confrontation can turn into cooperation.
But you have no use for it now, have you?
We have no use for it now, no.
It's gone now, it's all over.
Well, actually, some of the local what do you call it, companies that are doing broadband, they're using some of them.
Yeah. It's a landmark now, isn't it?
It's a landmark now. Every time I look up at it, I think of the frosty nights I spent up there with the technicians trying to see why there was no signal or whatever.
Did you put an awful lot of time into this, you did?
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Now you're going to Neighbourhood Watch.
Well, John Kennedy said that don't ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country or your village or town or whatever, you know.
That'll do.